Today, all across central New York, people are giving blood. The Red Cross says school blood drives like this one on the SU campus account for 30% of the blood they receive. Some donors say they give to help those in need. Others say it's one way to find out if they're HIV positive.
I'm pretty sure that the Red Cross would notify you if you had anything, And so I think I'm not sure if this is just me, but I think a lot of other people do it as a kind of way to check, kind of subconsciously.
Red Cross volunteers question all potential donors. If their answers seem high risk, they can't give. If they can, their blood is screened after they donate. Donors with blood found to be HIV positive are then notified confidentially. Red Cross officials say the myth that you can get AIDS from giving blood is still out there.
The needle is sterile. It's the first time it goes in your arm, and it's the last time it goes into anyone's arm. It is then discarded. So there is no way anyone can catch AIDS by donating blood. That is a misconception.
From the blood drives, the safe plasma goes to hospitals around 31 counties in central New York. Every time someone donates blood, that person helps 3 to 4 other people. The Red Cross says the need for blood never takes a vacation. Today is no exception. They need 400 units of blood today just to meet the need in central New York. They hope to get 150 of that from this blood drive. Reporting from the SU Hill, Matt Friedman, NCC News. Holiday shopping in mid-October usually means central New Yorkers are buying a costume for Halloween, or maybe getting an early start on Thanksgiving dinner. But retailers are thinking ahead. For them, this is the time to get ready for the onslaught of shoppers they'll expect to see in late November. At the shopping town chapels, management is ready now to hire holiday help.
We're scaling back a little bit because we found that last year, it wasn't as busy. It hasn't been the last few years. It's been progressively less busy, So we're trying to adjust for that, scaling back a little bit less in the hiring area.
Stores are also trying to get you to shop now so they can clean their shelves before holiday merchandise arrives. They're offering big sales at a time where spending is usually down. Shopping Town Mall General Manager Alan Lipsey says now is the time for stores to do everything they can to be ready for the most important retail season of the year. He says holiday time can make or break a store's business.
You're looking at it, probably 60% of your annual business is done in a 45-day period of time. And for some of the smaller merchants, those that are non-national, it's even a greater percentage than that.
Retailers say that Christmas time doesn't start in December. It doesn't even start in November. It starts over the summer. That's when they do their buying, and that's when they decide what's going to be on the shelves when you do your holiday shopping. Reporting from DeWitt, I'm Matt Friedman, NCC News. It started off as a cold, snowy Syracuse day, but the day before the mayoral vote heated up as the candidates got in their last campaigning. Republican Roy Bernardi spent part of his day at a low-income housing project. He says even though he still leads the polls and has recently been the target of negative advertising, he has been getting along well with Democrat Joe Nicoletti.
I basically told Joe the last time I talked to him, I said, I wish you well. I will have nice things to say about you, whether I win or whether I lose.
Bernardi says the relationship between the two is pretty good, but Nicoletti today is telling a different story. He's accusing the Bernardi campaign of sending out this flyer to Syracuse residents. In it, it says that Nicoletti is breaking his promises to voters. In it, it says that Nicoletti's running a dirty campaign.
I would suggest to you that this poison pen letter received across the city of Syracuse today is another indication of the futility and the frustration and the fear of the Republican candidate that they are slipping in the polls.
The Nicoletti campaign says it can't prove the flyers were sent by Bernardi. That's because there were no return addresses on them. Bernardi says it's too late to talk about the issues. He says the day before the election is time to simply convince people to vote for him. Nicoletti says the Flyers will energize his campaign. Even though they disagree about how to spend their last day of campaigning, they feel the same way about one thing. Both candidates say it's been a tough 5 months, and they'll be relieved come tomorrow night. In Syracuse, Matt Friedman, NCC News. Eight years ago, some local leaders said the Onondaga County War Memorial was obsolete, but the county decided to spend almost $18 million to renovate the facility, and local veterans urged leaders to make sure the War Memorial isn't just an arena. The result of that pressure is Memorial Hall, a tribute to Central New Yorkers who fought in all of America's wars. The Veterans Name Wall includes the names of more than 60,000 local residents who served our country. So far, the new section of the War Memorial is popular with visitors.
It's a lot better tribute to our men than it was. It needed to be done this way a long time ago.
I'm old enough to remember the last World War and heard about the first one, and it's a good feeling that all this hasn't been forgotten.
If you come to see an event here at the War Memorial, you're definitely going to notice the changes. But if you sit down inside this arena, it doesn't look a whole lot different. But War Memorial officials say it's almost like they built a new arena because now this place is structurally sound.
There was a huge asbestos removal program that was put in place. All the wiring was replaced. Heating, ventilation, air conditioning systems all replaced. New ice making equipment, new ice surface, new dasher boards.
County officials say they're looking forward to the day when the On Center and the renovated War Memorial can bring more business to Syracuse. In future weeks, the War Memorial will host a teachers' convention, pro wrestling, and ice shows. At the same time, it can once again serve as a tribute to local veterans. From downtown Syracuse, Matt Friedman, NCC News.
Problems breathing?
Patients come from across the state for treatment at local hospitals. Sometimes they stay for weeks or more. The Sarah House on Roberts Avenue is a place for families to stay when loved ones are in the hospital. When it opens in January, for $10 a day, families will have someplace to sleep, eat, and rides to and from the hospital. University Hospital's bone marrow transplant coordinator says Sarah House fills a large void in the community.
People that come from afar, it's hard to find decent housing that's comfortable and convenient to the hospital that isn't exorbitantly expensive. So this offers a really nice alternative that's comfortable and quiet, yet, really affordable.
House Director Mary Keogh says she wanted to start the house because of experiences she had visiting her terminally ill nephew in the hospital. She says the house will be more than just a place to spend the night.
I hope that this is the beginning of a healing process. The folks in the hospital are going through a physical healing, and we would hope that we would be part of maybe the spiritual healing that people need to be going through.
Keogh says more than $60,000 is still needed to make sure the Sarah House keeps going once it gets off the ground. A full-time Sarah House won't be a reality until January 1st, and when it starts up, more than 50 volunteers will help make this a home away from home 24 hours a day. From the city's west side, I'm Matt Friedman, NCC News.